Okay, so we are on problem set 13A, and this starts our unit on rounding. When you're rounding, you're trying to show a number that is not ending in a zero as a number that ends in a zero. So in this case, our directions say round to the nearest 10. Use the number line to model your thinking. So with rounding, we're looking at vertical number lines. Instead of going horizontally across the page, they're going up and down from top to bottom. So what this is showing is that we need to take the number 32 and round it to the nearest 10. So if you think back to your place value, the first digit from the right is the ones place. The 3 in this case is in the tens place. So we need to think about whether this number should be rounded to 30, that 3 should stay the same, or does it go up to the next 10 of 40? So if you look at this number line, here's the 30 at the bottom, here's the 40 at the top. We want to show an interval with the lower 10 on the bottom and the higher 10 on the top. Just one more 10. So 3 tens plus 1 10 is 4 tens. Okay? And we also want to mark what's halfway in between. So they've done that for us. 35 is halfway in between 30 and 40. What we need to do then is find where 32 would be on the number line. So if you think about it, on your number line, this would be 31. Here's 32, 33, 34, and here's 35. So they've plotted a point or put a dot where 32 is. Now all we need to do is say, all right, is 32 closer to 30 or 40 on the number line? Well, if I look at it, 32 is only 2 hops away from 30. But to get from 32 to 40, I have to go 8 hops. So it's definitely closer to 30. So our answer, and if you notice this, it's not an equal sign, it's a curvy equal sign. That means about, is about. So 32 is about 30. Okay, what that means is 32 is closer to 30 than 40 on the number line when we round by tens. Okay, so look at letter B. We're looking at 36. So the number in the tens place is a 3. That tells me that 3 tens is going to be my starting point on my number line. What's 1 10 more than 30? 40. So that's going to be the top point, similar to the one next to it. What's halfway in between 30 and 40? 35. Now, we need to figure out where 36 is. Well, this is going to be 31, 32, 33, and 34. Here's 35. 36 would be right above the 35. So I'm going to put a dot, plot a point there. And now I ask myself, is it closer to 30 at the bottom or 40 at the top? It's closer to 40. So we say 36 is about 40. 36 rounded to the nearest 10 is 40. All right. Letter C, 62. So I'm going to focus on the number in the tens column or tens place. That's a 6. 6 tens is 60. So I'm going to put that at the bottom of my number line. One more 10 than 60 is 70. So that's the top boundary of my number line. What's in between 60 and 70? 65. Halfway between a 10 is a 5, and so we can add 5 to our bottom spot. Right, so where would 62 be? Well, we have 61, 62, 63, and 64. So 60, 61, 62 is right here. Look at that. Is it closer to 60 or 70? Much closer to 60. So 62 is rounded to 60. Finally, on this side, letter D, 98. So we look at our tens place. We have 9 tens. So 90 is our bottom spot. What would be 10 more than 90? 100. What's halfway between 90 and 100? 95. So if I look at 98, I know 98 is more than 95, so I'm not even going to bother drawing those lines in like I did for part B. I'm just going to draw 96, 97, 98, 99. Here's 98. Is that closer to 100 or 90? it's closer to 100. Okay, so if you look at all your answers, when you're rounding to the nearest 10, your ones place is always going to be a 0. In letter D, you've got a 3-digit answer, so you have 2 zeros, but that's just because after 90 we get into the 3-digit numbers. Okay, so you have to focus on the tens place and set your lower and upper boundaries on your number line. Find the middle, we call that the midpoint, and then plot the actual number they give you and see if it's closer to the top end point or the bottom end point. Okay, so this is rounding. Let's look at number 2. It says round the weight of each item to the nearest 10 grams. That's the same as rounding to the nearest 10. Use number lines to model your thinking. So this is 36 grams. So again, my tens place is 3 tens, so my lower boundary is 30. 10 more than that is 40. In the middle is 35. Where would 36 be? Well, that's more than 35, so I'm going to mark my 4 tick marks in between. This is 36 right here. Is it closer to 40 or 30? 40. So when we write our answer, since we're talking about grams, we have to show 40 grams, so 40 g. Okay? Next one is 52 grams. So I've got 5 tens, so my lower boundary is 5 tens, or 50. 10 more than that would be 60. Right smack dab in the middle is 55. So 52 is less than 55, so I'm going to draw my 4 tick marks here. And I'm going to count up 51, 52. I'm going to plot my point at 52. Which is it closer to, 50 or 60? 50. So it's 50 grams. Last one is 82 grams. So I look at my tens place. Sorry, that makes it look like I underlined the 2, but I'm focusing on the 8. 8 tens is 80. That's a 0. 1 10 more than that is 90. 85 is in the middle. So 82 is going to be less than 85, so it's in this section here. 1, 2, 3, 4 tick marks. If I count up from 80, this is 81. 82 is right here. So is that closer to 80 or 90? 80. So the last one is 80 grams. Okay, so with this lesson, we are rounding to the nearest tens place. Focus on that 10 in the actual number. Think about how that makes your lowest end point. Your highest end point is 10 more. Oops. Halfway is 5 more than the bottom, or 5 less than the top. Plot that point and see which one is closest to. Okay. Feel free to listen to this again if you want to hear it again. Otherwise, you can get started on your homework and exit ticket.